Welcome into Inside LAFC podcast. We are live on LAFC YouTube. We are live on LAFC Facebook. We encourage you to like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the LAFC channels as we continue to serve you a day after a historic evening at BMO Stadium, the debut of Heung-min at home. It is a holiday here in the United States, so we're going to have a more concise, tight show. We're going to make it very listener intensive. So this is the day. If you have some hot takes, some questions, we welcome fans from San Diego FC or whatever to talk about the game, which was certainly very good. We see everyone coming in. Good morning to our listeners in Korea, but we do know we have listeners everywhere, all over the planet, intrigued by LAFC, fans of Heung-min, whose phenomenon goes well beyond here in Los Angeles and Korea. It is a lot more than we could have ever anticipated, and we're seeing it firsthand here. So this is your show. Again, Labor Day weekend, Dunny's with the fam. We are going to move forward. Hello, Ruben. Hello, Roberto Hernandez, who was the first one here, and he said, great environment. A lot of new players. There certainly were. I'm going to ask you a question later, and I want to get your answers. I want to ask you, was this the best environment in BMO Stadium history? I have 5 candidates for it, and it is amongst the leaderboard. So stay tuned with that, and we will get into it. But we will talk about Heung-min's debut. Monster, sad game yesterday. Listen, I think we're all feeling it, right? We are all feeling the fact that this was a game that LAFC had their chances to win. A big opportunity with your new player. You get one home debut. I mean, even Heung-min's debut with the club was a positive one in Chicago. This was a chance to reel back San Diego FC, and now they're probably too far ahead with regards to the standings in the West. And if you win the Western Conference, there is a ticket to the 2026 CONCACAF Champions Cup. If you look at the standings the way they are, the only way probably realistically LAFC can get into the 2026 CONCACAF Champions Cup is winning MLS Cup, which, based on what I've seen, is not out of the realm of possibility. There's a lot of good teams out there, but I think LAFC is going to be one there at the end. H. Murray Burton, hello. Good to join you. What's up, Juice323? Nick Kim joining us, and we have, I appreciate our Korean listeners putting their comments in English. If you put it in Korean, we have a translator, so I can do them in real time. We don't have the live closed captioning. Really, no one has it at that point. We're waiting for that technological breakthrough. You can listen to this podcast, Inside LAFC podcast, in its entirety with closed captioning. So we encourage you to listen to it again or listen to the first time there. But we will get to all of this. Quick question, Vibe FC, fire away. Roberto Hernandez, the Igor Jesus injury, that certainly loomed large, not just because LAFC does not have a direct replacement for Igor Jesus. There is a possibility because of the injury that they could sign someone at that position. I imagine LAFC are diligent looking into that. They had Eddie Segura kind of play that role, although as I got to broadcast the game with Dunny, there was a rotation. Mark Delgado played the back of the midfield a lot, so it was a big transition to have to replace him. So certainly that's a big one. Martin Earl, hello. Nick Kim, why are referees unfair to Sonny last 2 games? There was some interesting optics. Heung-min and Denny Bouanga talking to the referee at the end there, who was Philip Dujic, who had his handfuls. Steve Cherundolo was asked about the officiating. He didn't think there was anything out of ordinary. There was the potential handball, but, I watched that on the first goal by Chucky Lozano. I watched that a dozen times, and I didn't really see a definitive angle where you could say it was a handball. His arm was out, but it could have hit his shoulder. It could have hit the chest here. You can't switch that call unless you have clear-cut situations. So I see a lot of folks aren't happy with the officiating. The officiating will cut both ways. I thought LAFC played very well. Ruben, you already bring it. I love it. No MLS Cup 2022. We came in droves, even though we were allowed no parking for the match. I'm going to ask you why. I'm going to tell you why it wasn't the 2022 MLS Cup with regards to the best environment. We'll get to that in a moment. Vibe FC, I'm going to the game on October 13th. I will be on row 117. Can I go on the field? No, you cannot go on the field. You can be very close. The beautiful thing about BMO Stadium is we're right on top of the action. There is no gap between the field. You'll be able to hear the players, smell the players. You just can't touch them. David Day, Denny Bouanga, the only class on the field for us. Denny Bouanga, we'll talk about it. I go to Foot Mob because Denny Bouanga could have had a hat trick. And even though he didn't, you can't take away that effort. They gave him a 7.5. I believe it was the highest rating for an LAFC player. The highest rating overall was Anders Dreyer and then Jeppe Sverskov. Those two guys are unbelievable. I'll have an MVP vote for MLS. And Lionel Messi, I think, is the easy decision. Evander might be the smartest decision. But, well, I'd say Anders Dreyer will probably be the smartest decision as he continues to lead this team to incredible heights. San Diego FC, 5 wins out of 5. In California. Hopefully LAFC get another shot at them, but we will see. Tom, Korean football. I was not an MLS fan, but now an LAFC fan, and the atmosphere yesterday was electric. I can't wait to talk about that. We will get to that here shortly. Some comments from our Korean audience. What's wrong with the judges? I don't know. I love you, Sonny. I think the referees need to look at this again. This is how the Premier League will develop. I'm really disappointed and angry. Great. We want that. We want the emotions to be pushed. Let's talk about the Son Heung-min home debut. I spoke to Sonny at the beginning of the game. He was chomping at the bit. The last time he played in front of a home crowd, and really he plays in front of the home crowds even on the road because there's so many Korean flags, so many Sonny fans there. So he feels that comfort. But being able to, and he's not settled in Los Angeles by any means, but being able to wake up at your home base, his family was in town, he has friends in town, so he's really enjoying life in Los Angeles a lot better from what he has told us. I gave him a nice little gift basket. My mother-in-law is Korean, so she put together really nice goodies, and his friend An was, I think, because some of it was like sweets and chips. Son Heung-min can't eat it. I think An gets to eat most of it, but he'll pass it on, so I'm sure very appreciative. But he loves it, and he is spending time and now getting more comfortable. Unfortunately for LAFC, they have 3 more home games in the regular season. There is an international date coming up. We will talk about it. We wish there was more stacked games in the back so we could have it. Son Heung-min after the game talked about the disappointment. We were in the press room with him. It felt like he just lost a World Cup final. His body language. This guy loves winning, and he made it very clear he knew the atmosphere was electric, which it was. And he said that everything was great except for the fact that he couldn't let the fans leave home happy. And the players were devastated. The fans were just devastated. We in the broadcast team and our producer, Sarah, we walked out to the parking lot and we're like, we wish it could be different. But there was some bright spots here. And again, the possibility that this season could end well is very positive. LAFC can still win the MLS Cup. I can assure you no one's going to want to play them in the postseason. Craig, great to see you. Your guy Porteous debuted. I thought he did really well. I'll bump into you next month at the Atlanta game. I'm booked to come over. I don't know if I'll be able to. I don't know if I'm doing the Atlanta game at this point where I am not, but we will see. Cristobal, Club World Cup play was the best atmosphere. That's in my top 5. The game against Club America. We'll let you know what happens. KM, the referee's decision is messy, especially in the scene of the offside. This is obviously going to be a big discussion, so we're not going to run away from the officiating. Steve Cherundolo's only issue with the officiating, and I would agree with him, is there were some time-wasting things there late, which we saw, and that's why you get 9 minutes of stoppage time as well. So he didn't have an issue. Again, he just finished the game. He might be looking at tape and have a different opinion after that. I also want to mention they're going to look at the David Martinez who had to leave the game. They have no reports about that. I saw some people asking about that. Here's a really interesting one that it applies, a comment. How about Christian Eriksen to midfield? Christian Eriksen, Danish player without a club. Interesting coincidence. Anders Dreyer of San Diego, from what we're hearing about the Danish news, might be moving ahead of Christian Eriksen in the Danish national team because of what he has done in MLS. So people who are new to this league, This league is preparing players for that next step. So if you think Son Heung-min is taking a step back, I can assure you he's not. And he is feeling the test and the challenges of this league. Anders Dreyer, I would love to see Christian Eriksen, whether at LAFC or MLS, but we will see if that is. Yes, H. Marie Burton. I did say you could smell the players. That's how close you are at the stadium. 2022 Leagues Cup Showcase, David Day at SoFi Stadium when LAFC played there. That's not on my list, but maybe it should be. That's a great shout. We will talk about that. The Club World Cup from Ruben had the best refs I've seen, super fair, and had high refereeing IQs. Also, the Leagues Cup had CONCACAF referees. I think there was some challenges there, some things lost in translation as to, because Leagues Cup is not MLS, even though it's got MLS teams. We've got to separate church and state there. But sometimes it all gets bundled in, but these are two different competitions. As you saw, the Sounders, congratulations to them, won the Leagues Cup, beating Inter Miami. A lot of conversations after that. The Galaxy finished third, so they're going to the CONCACAF Champions Cup. We'll see if LAFC joins them. We will continue to go through there. I just want to give some points here about Son. He is absolutely delightful, and we know these players know their worth. And LAFC HQ, where they sell the shirts, we had an opening shot with the Son Heung-min number 7 jerseys. I've had at least 5 requests for people to get me one for them. And I'm like, because it is hard. We were told every shirt was off the rack a couple hours before kickoff. So they cannot print the shirts or make the shirts as quickly for the demand. So the shirts have been phenomenal with Son Heung-min. That atmosphere. Sometimes you talk about a late arriving crowd in LA. It's just the reality of sports. We've seen it with Lakers, and you see the fan, and at LAFC as well. This was an early arriving crowd. Everyone was there. Hats off to the supporters group in the 3252. Beautiful tifo. They were an excellent voice. They were tailgating as early as 10 a.m. And I want to say, when you hear tailgating at 10 a.m., you get worried because there's revelry and enjoyment. Didn't have any issues before. Didn't have any issues afterwards. Also want to give a good shout out to the San Diego fans. About 700 of them in that corner. They were loud. They were a big part of the overall atmosphere. I will get to these. I'm going to get to the everyone wants to talk about the officiating, so we will talk about that. David Day also asks about great atmosphere, Galaxy playoffs 2019. I thought about that, but that's not in the top 5 here. Roberto Hernandez, I skipped the America game. I really hate that club. So he didn't want to see the America game whatsoever. Again, the comments coming from our Korean listeners, we encourage that. We do have the translation. I think the defense is weak. They gave up the back space too easily. I want to tell you, San Diego is probably the best offensive team. And the one thing that's refreshing about them, they don't play defensively. They pass, and they break you down. And they have Dreyer, who is a deadline runner, who is one of the fastest players. He covers the second most ground in MLS. Their number 6, Sverskov, covers the 4th amount of ground. They run. For LAFC, you can't get into that track meet because that is their game. And I thought LAFC did a smart job. You can't chase them. The first goal, I think both goals are avoidable, but that is kind of a result of these open spaces and something that LAFC cannot really avoid. So unfortunately, that is that. San Diego are a very good team. It's hard to explain a team in their first year having that kind of effect, but we will see. We'll talk about the result because I rewatched the game this morning. That's what I do. A lot of folks were talking about Son maybe not being as active. I saw some comments in the first half. I think San Diego did a nice job taking him out in the first half. Second half, he was electric. But I counted the chances that he either had or helped. And there were 4 really good chances to score, including hitting the post. And then there was a chance where he kind of got bottled up. He got behind the defense. Luca Bombino, former LAFC player, came in and slid. There was another one where the defense came in and knocked the ball loose. There was one where he got to the boundary and crossed the ball and it got away. But he had 2 very high XG chances, including the post, which doesn't count as a shot on goal. And then he had 6 overall. go to the MLS Instagram or Twitter handle. They'll show you all the chances as well. And it was extensive. It was one after the other. It was very impressive what Heung-min would do. The XG, 17 shots for LAFC, a 2.72 XG, which, look, let's talk about the result. LAFC won. They took the lead. It's the first time they had a lead in an MLS game and lost the game. So San Diego coming from behind to tie it and then eventually winning it. This is a game that I could be critical. I know, I work for LAFC, and sometimes we are a little reluctant to throw too much criticism. I protect the guys from time to time. I don't see how I could be critical of this effort. A new defender, a new number 6. So defensively, they held up. 4 chances for San Diego. They just took advantage. They were clinical and efficient. You got to work on that. And I think hearing from Steve Cherundolo, he was very happy about the performance. He said, "We are disappointed with the result. The performance was fine. We had many solutions. We created enough chances." He did add, and I think this is the crux of the night, deja vu, though. It's the story of our year, creating chances. If we're a team, speaking of LFC, that keep creating chances and don't get it, that's a problem. I understand that's a problem. But this was a game where, I was losing count of the chances, and they broke San Diego. San Diego was not turning the ball over. In the last 25 minutes, turnover. Great opportunity for Sonny. Great opportunity for Bouanga. Bouanga had 2 one-on-ones. He has to finish those. There's no doubt about it. But the data shows you that Denny Bouanga was very effective. And as I said, FootMob had him as the highest rated player. This was a game, and it does mirror games that LAFC have had in the past, but this was a game that LAFC should have won 3-2 with all the chances they had. It was one after the other. Everyone was getting them. There was a chance for Mark Delgado. There was a chance for Nate Ordaz. There was multiple chances for Denny Bouanga. There was multiple chances for Son Heung-min as well. They had, 8 or 9 corner kicks. Most of them were pretty effective. They had a few free kicks as well. They were doing everything right. And to me, this screams they just need a little more time. Now, there's an international week coming up, and Son Heung-min is going to be with Korea. Korea is playing the United States on September the 6th, which is this Saturday coming up. And then they'll be back at training, and then they have a game September 13th on the road, September 17th. So 2 away games. And LAFC are going to have to be really good on the road because of the games that they remain. I think there are 8, 5 away, 3 at home. And again, we want more home games so we can duplicate what we saw last night. But they've looked good on the road. The 3 away games, and I'm telling you, teams are going to be worried playing them. San Diego were razzled at the end. Chicago, New England, and Dallas, 3 teams that needed to get wins to keep their playoff hopes alive, and they were playing at home, wanted no part of attacking LAFC. They were hoping to catch LAFC on a counter, which is folly because LAFC don't give up counter opportunities. I don't think either one of these goals were off a counter attack. They were just some open spaces where they were able to take it. Let's go into the questions, and we're going to get into this conversation about best atmosphere. Dan, we need more good defenders. I agree with you, but keep in mind what LAFC has gone through. We're not making excuses. Aaron Long, their best defender, one of the best defenders in the league, out for the year with an Achilles tear. Igor Jesus, amongst the best number 6s, he is now out. Maxime Chanot, recently retired from professional football. Marlon, they couldn't get him because the price, unfortunately, couldn't fall into place. Shakhtar Donetsk was asking for an astronomical number. So they've had to be very creative defensively. And then Kosi Tafari, who probably started number 5 in the pecking order of center backs, is the featured center back with Eddie Segura. And Eddie Segura has to play multiple positions. So we have to see what happens with that. Defensively, they got Ryan Porteous. That will help. And we'll see if there's some more help because of the injury to Igor Jesus. Ruben, took 20, 30 minutes to get in the stadium. I'm glad you guys got that early. Matt Eli, we Koreans are upset because of Apple TV. They took a 12-hour flight for the game and drinking and watching the game at 11 a.m. in a pub on a Monday. I will tell you this, and I'll tell the Korean audience, you guys have been heard. We have a Korean radio partnership now. We're doing everything we can to serve the folks here on YouTube and every other channel. Continue to come out and see your pride and joy, Sung Heung-min. And I can assure you, the powers that be will cater to you as best they can. They know you are there. You are very important. And the numbers that are going to be created in Korea and in Asia, for that matter, are going to be seen. And this is all very new, but more and more will be coming your way. I can assure you. We appreciate your audience, and we will continue to do our best to make you feel part of the family, both with LAFC and with Major League Soccer. By the way, a nice beverage at 11 a.m. on a Monday sounds pretty good to me. You don't have to work. Eric, greetings from Kansas. Hello, Kansas. More Jaeun Cho, it was not offside. That's clear. And the no penalty, I don't know if it was a penalty. I know which one you're talking about. Juice 323, is Jesus Murillo coming back? Jesus Murillo was in the stadium. We saw him there. He's not coming back. I think he was part of the international break because the transfer window has closed. Bruno Acosta, come on, you Spurs. We welcome the Spurs fans that have adored Sung Heung-min through the years, and hopefully will become LAFC fans as well. Kelly C., we are just happy to watch the game. This is very lovely. I got to say, it's been very positive here. I think you guys have saw what I saw. This wasn't a poor effort. This wasn't a team getting manhandled. This was a team even falling behind. When they fell behind, that's when they played their best. You want to do that a little bit earlier. I think the first half was really good. I think the first 15 minutes of the second half were not. And then you gave up the goal. And after that, it was all LAFC. And you can't fault them for that with the 2.72 XG. And I want to be a data darling, as well as the 17 shots and many good chances for a variety of players. No more, no watch, no MLS VAR. Okay, all right. KN, many Koreans are angry that they still can't sleep, even at 5 a.m. because of the referee. Get your sleep. I know there's no Labor Day in Korea, or maybe there is. I should know this. But we have Labor Day here, so people, by and large, are taking the day off, but not Inside LAFC podcasts. We appreciate your listenership. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to have an abbreviated show. We'll be back with all the analysis next week as well and continue the conversation on an international week. And then September, October, the exciting stretch run for MLS. Sonny's left foot versus right foot. Sonny had that left foot shot. I forgot to mention one of the chances in the first half, which was saved by CJ Dos Santos, where that left foot shot. He's really good with both, but that right foot, and he talked about playing the number 9 after the game. He said he's played number 9 a lot. I think that's the best spot for him, even though he likes to play like Denny Boang on the left and cut inside. But we will see if that changes. Steve Cherundolo has mentioned that this is a work in progress, and those front 3 might move in here and there. Lydia, it would be nice to win the game, but even if we lose, I think fair play is more important. I also hope the referees play fairly without mistake, and I hope the players don't get hurt and have happy careers. LAFC fighting, Sung Heung-min fighting. Lydia, that's the spirit. We love it. We will see Michael West saying I'm the MVP. That is not true, but I appreciate those remarks. Let us get to the best atmosphere in LAFC BMO Stadium history. And it's a long list. There have been so many games. And I've been to all of them. And this is a very hard decision. But I will give you the data as to why I think this is the second best atmosphere in LAFC history. And they both happened this year. And I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment. but they both happened this year. Quickly, MC, when will Andy Moran be able to play? I would be shocked if he's not in the team September 13th in the next LAFC game, which is San Jose away. And let's look at that game as a bit of a home game because it's a short drive or short flight. So if you're in LA, you can go there. I spoke to John Thorrington. He said there were hundreds of fans that came in from Korea to watch this game. If you're in Korea, you want to watch a game, you can't get one of the home games. The next one, September 21st against Real Salt Lake. Why not make a short trip to San Jose? And our neighbors will be very appreciative. So there are some options for games, and who knows what lies ahead. Right now, LAFC, as I mentioned, they're not going to be able to catch San Diego, and they won't be able to get that spot for the CONCACAF Champions Cup from winning the West. I think they have a realistic shot to finish as high as second. They still have those games in hand. They have 3 games in hand on Minnesota, which is second. So I think they'll finish third or fourth, but they have a shot at second. Best atmosphere at BMO. I love the Galaxy game in 2019, and I actually have that at number 5 because it was the Galaxy, and there was a lot of emotions there. That pushed out the home opener at 2018, which was special. The home opener game wasn't the most exciting game. It had an incredible conclusion, but that is number 6. The CONCACAF Champions Cup final against Leon in 2023 was number 4. The pregame for that I thought was the best because if you were there, the Leon fans were there. It was spectacular, and they were all over in the streets of LA. It was an late afternoon start, and it was very atmospheric. Then it got away from LAFC, and they had to chase it, which kind of compromised how the fans were reacting. But the fans never really budged. They're always so good, but that was still good. I mean, it's 6 in one, half a dozen in the other. All of these could finish first. The number 3 is MLS Cup 2022. I know that sounds sacrilegious when LAFC won their first MLS Cup, but it was all LAFC fans. And let's be honest, there was some nervous energy in that building. We were all like, oh my God, this is it. We can't lose this game. Because you can't. The other games you can't, but you couldn't lose that one. After all that happened, after leading that game on a couple occasions, there was some nervous energy and there was more relief. And remember, that was a day game. Night games trump day games. So MLS Cup for me is number 3. Number 2 was last night. Everyone in their seat. It was the most tickets sold in BMO Stadium history. So there was more people in the building that day than any game in LAFC history. San Diego fans did their part. The scope of Son Heung-min adds a lot. Number 1 was the Club America game back in May because of the America fans. That was unruly. And it was, I mean, you walked in that stadium, you felt like you were entering another sphere. Both these games that are 1 and 2, both happened this year, I know. And again, I don't want to be prisoner of the moment, but there was something special about both of them. What say you? What say you guys see about what you thought was the best game in LAFC history, the best atmosphere, I should say? Those were mine. This was number 2. A lot of good stuff. El Peace, we'll ask some other questions. Last night, I observed many times Martinez didn't pass the ball to Son. Why? I thought he tried. Sometimes Martinez, who's left-footed, is on the right side, and they want these guys to cut in. I think there's some progress. Now, Martinez did assist on the Buanga goal, so there was a good moment there. We hope David is okay. Roberto, I live in Lake Los Angeles. It took me an hour and a half to get to the game. It's all about timing. Kelly, we're just happy to watch the game. Again, more refereeing. I gotta steer clear of too much because I didn't think the refereeing wasn't great. I don't think it was as bad as we're painting it here. And we can't change the game time. Shano, what do you think about referees yesterday's game? Again, not the greatest officiated game. I think it was a hard game to officiate it. This was a track meet. San Diego's moving, and LAFC's chasing. and we talked to the producer of the game. We were trying to get some elements in. It was impossible because it was chance. There was no slowdowns. I watched Arsenal-Liverpool. That game was I watched that earlier on Sunday. It was one big slowdown. Arsenal took 2 minutes to take a corner kick every time. It was so slow that this game in comparison was completely different. It's Trading Company. Sonny is doing fine. He just needs some nesting, I think, a resting period. I agree with you. Think about what he has gone through. Arrived, landed on a Wednesday, press conference on a Thursday, or something like a day later, game on a Saturday, away game the following week, away game, and now this. There's so much on his plate. Let's stop and think about that for a minute. So much on his plate. And now he gets a chance. He's going to be with the national team. And it's a friendly, I believe they're in the World Cup. They're going to go. And now he can spend a few days before and after. The Korea game is in the United States. The first one is so. He doesn't have to travel. He doesn't have to travel for the World Cup either. It's here in the United States. So these next 2 weeks are going to be huge for him. And I hope we get to a sense of normalcy with how we look at him. Obviously, he is a phenomenon, but you saw it with Lionel Messi. It eventually becomes an Inter Miami game and how they get the results. And it took a while for it to settle in as well. I think we look forward to that. And Son Heung-min looks forward to that more than anything. This is Inside LAFC Podcast. We appreciate you joining us on a Labor Day Monday. To our fans in Korea, yeah, this is a holiday in the United States. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. By the way, if you want to rewatch the game and you're in LA, you can see it at 5:30 Tuesday on Fox 11 Plus, formerly Channel 13. Let's go. For Vincent, for the league to grow and for many players to come to MLS, fairness is absolutely essential, without question. And all of these things is going to get better moving forward. You're 100% correct. LAFC are strong and playing well with maybe just a little bit of dented confidence in the final third. Respect to Steve, but maybe news of the new coach could give players a bounce. In case you missed it, this is the fourth and final year for Steve Cherundolo. He's going to be moving back to Germany, moving his family back. He'll be looking for a new coaching job. He's been remarkable in these 4 years. He's changed the LAFC black and gold standard, making finals, winning trophies. And listen, I'm not going to deny that, Craig. There is a new coach, but keep in mind, this is one of the really cool things about LAFC. They're bringing in players. Son Heung-min came in to play for Steve Cherundolo, knowing that he's going to have a new coach there. Son Heung-min knows his worth and knows whether he signs off on the new coach. He has faith that LAFC are going to make the right appointment. He is 33. He has, 4 or 5 years left of at least 2-3 really good years. He's under contract through 2027. This is a really important stretch for him with a World Cup. He's played 3 World Cups. He'll play probably his 4th and final World Cup next summer. He vetted this. He did all the research. He spoke to the powers that be at LAFC. He spoke to Hugo Lloris, and he knows this is the right place. So I think we see that. And MLS has improved so much. Just look at the competition. So this is, regardless of who is in charge, the coach-wise, Son Heung-min has signed off on it. All the new signings have signed off on it. And John Thorrington is a guy that everyone trusts a lot. So we look forward to that. Let's see if we can get through some of these questions, because I know some of you are asking about the best atmosphere. Ku Jun, pull in Jose Mourinho as a new manager, please. Careful what you ask for. Careful what you ask for. Jose Mourinho parting ways at Fenerbahce in Turkey. Remember, LAFC want to keep a very sexy style of football. Jose Mourinho is very pragmatic. I would love to see him in MLS, maybe not at LAFC. We shall see. Crystal, I was at this game. So many times could have been passed to Son, and they didn't pass it. But Denny needs to not get fancy to pass or shoot. He tried to get by 5 defenders and had someone open. San Diego did a really good job of defending Son. He's looking for those outlets. But even then, when he got loose, he did. That's still a work in progress. You've got to get Denny the ball, too. If Denny scores, or David or Nate or Daz gets involved, that is going to make the defending lax on Son Heung-min. Jose Mourinho will be great for Korean national team manager. How about that? Korea's had some Portuguese managers. Paulo Bento, right? The last World Cup got him to the round of 16. So that's been a good mix. 99% of the Korean chat on this channel is a criticism of the referee. By the way, talking about officiating is the #1 favorite topic of soccer fans. Ask the Premier League, ask the World Cup. It's just what we do. Manny Guzman, welcome to the Sun fans. Let's roll back here. Hello, Black and Gold fan from David Jimenez. Soccer USA. I don't know if he's on here, but he introduced himself last night. Was it Randy or Ryan? Thanks for saying hello. Appreciate you being on here week in, week out. So, sorry, I'm going through all this. Where was the international press when Bale came? There was a massive journalist behind our seats in section 125. Manny, I have never seen our press area more full. They had like 5 rows of seats. The room downstairs where they do the press conference, jam-packed. And they were there for an hour and a half afterwards. So the press is there. The Korean press is there. Again, we have a Korean radio station. Son Heung-min's going to be here for 2 more years. The best lies ahead. This was a disappointing result, but I can assure you there's some good stuff coming with him involved. It seems like most of the fans here are Korean. Well, that's from our young people. We have a lot of Korean fans. We have a lot of fans from everywhere, and we thank Son Heung-min. We appreciate everyone coming in here. It is a reality. We are now talking to a bigger audience. Sir Nismo, we need new tactics. 4-3-3, not it, Chief. I don't know if it was a 4-3-3 all the time. There were some moments where it looked like a 4-4-2. There was a moment where Son dropped back, and it was those 2 forwards. So, and there's times where they play with a back 5, and they will play with a back 5 at some point this season. So there's some different things that they will throw at it. So, here's some comments about the best atmosphere. Let's get into this. LAFC versus Miami to kick off the 2026 MLS season. You should do that at SoFi Stadium. There was also a comment about the LAFC Miami game when Messi came here for the first time. That didn't make my top 5, and that was unbelievable. We had Prince Harry here. We had Leonardo DiCaprio. Some incredible celebrities last night as well. Stephen Yoon, Bobby Lee, one of the funniest people on the planet. Ariang, I can't believe I'm watching this at 5 a.m. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll be here every Monday, I think every Tuesday morning for you. The most urgent thing, the more referee stuff, So we will continue to roll through here. I'm going to go through real quickly as we look through what's going to happen next, the international break. So we want to let you know what's lying ahead for LAFC and the 7 players that are off on international duty, which will begin this week. Son Heung-min will be with Korea. As we said, he's got that game against the USA on Saturday. That is at Sports Illustrated Stadium in New Jersey. So a chance to see Son Heung-min in the United States with his Korea shirt. Denny Bouanga with Gabon. He is going to be, from what I understand, he's on a plane already. And he's going to the Seychelles in East Africa. It's, Africa's here. You have Madagascar as an island, and the Seychelles is further out. He has a World Cup qualifier there. And then they play the Ivory Coast at home. If Gabon win those 2 games, Gabon is probably going to a World Cup. So World Cup qualifying is going on. Nate Ordaz is going to join the El Salvador national team. David Martinez, we'll see how he is health-wise. He was scheduled to join the Venezuela national team, which is massive as they're trying to make their first World Cup. Matt Evans of LAFC2 will be joining the Guatemalan national team. Mathieu Chonier will be joining Canada for some friendlies. Canada's already in the World Cup as they are going to be the host. So it's a nice group. It certainly is. Ryan Porteous didn't make Scotland, but he is still in the mix, and I think his time with LAFC as a future player will help. And Andy Moran, who hasn't debuted yet, is a prospect to make the Ireland national team as well. But we have a really nice contingent. There will be no game this weekend. MLS not always recognize the international breaks, but they will here this time around. Inside LAFC podcast on a Monday, solo show today. Appreciate you guys joining us. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back again every Monday for the rest of the season to document the black and gold and Song Heung-min. Let's do a big grandstand finish here with regards to your comments. Could we see a bit where Will Ferrell interviews Sonny in character as Anchorman? That would be hilarious. Shauno, how is Martinez? No news yet. We hope to have some today, and stay close to the LAFC channels for all of that. It was just an unlucky game. We just had a couple mistakes that cost us and a couple chances missed. Song Heung-min mentioned that. He goes, he felt bad. He goes, if I didn't hit the post, everyone leaves happy. And I'm telling you, LAFC probably get a third goal. Forever together. Denny's trying to handle everything on his own. That's something Denny does. He puts this team on his back, and he's put this team on his back since he arrived since 2022. Matthew David, one player can't finish, it's the player's fault. When the whole team can't finish, it's the manager's fault. I would argue that. But Steve Cherundolo addressed that. He goes, that's a problem that we have this Groundhog Day kind of game where we get these chances and we don't convert. They have to get better at that. So great stuff, everybody. I appreciate you doing your due diligence and joining us. We'll be back. LAFC is going to be a lot of fun to cover. This was a good performance. It was just a bad result. So put that in your memory banks. Recharge the batteries. Enjoy the international football. And there, Dave, we got Bobby Lee to come to an LAFC game, and I missed him. He will be there. Aubameyang in the World Cup with Denny. They both play with Gabon. So recharge the batteries and enjoy the international game. We'll be back here next Monday. Check out Black and Gold Insider and all the other great programming we provide here on YouTube and all our social media channels. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you soon. I am Max Bretos, and remember, let's go Black and Gold.